What are they for? Bodies in chalk, walk in the park. Life gets dark. Who will you call? Taking the fall. 93 taker, buried up. Loved up for a casket match. I ain't gotta do Giant Gonzalez. You get buried in a bodysuit, masked up with the nose hidden like 96. Plus, I can hit a backbreaker. Your spinal split over those reasons you die. You better know the ropes. Broke his nose with a big boot. Now he comatose, reaching to be ahead of me. Triple my pedigree. SummerSlam 94. Put my clone next to me. Take my brother out, only if he wanna step to me. Like Al Snow, my own dog was fed to me. Wrestling bar king, and I'm not with the fakeness. They know I'm the king, the one you hardly race with. Take this, I'm on the apron. They basic, super kick with a bulldog. Give a facelift, leave them stone cold if it's glass shattering. Only if I had more time like Thunderbolt Patterson. New attendance record is pressure for this gathering. Tiger mask on, hoping the king's in the smattering. Pull up in the Telluride, driving on a different deal. Bianca Belair, I'm tied down with whip appeal. I kill, I feel, I see it, I grill. I got it, I want it, I do it, it's real. I want it, I got it, I do it, it's real, it's real, it's real, it's real. Kid, I do this ish often. The heart of New York dog, from Austin to Boston. I hit the West Coast now, me and get my stupid on. Anywhere I go, I rock the mic with my Ewings on. Put them on the piss, bet they won't wake up. Can't break us like we from Kingston, Jamaica. All the way to Cambridge, blowing all the doors down. When I hit the spot, I'm coming straight out of Georgetown. Catch him with a block, about to take a shot in over his head. When I get the rock, ops looking pitiful. When it gets critical, bring Chicago to the Garden, watch it get physical. If they really got heart, this is where the bond starts. Bag them up, bang on them like my man John Starks, rookie of the year in 86. Think of this, #1 draft pick. Ain't nobody taking this, bro. I can coach you, I'm vocal and postal. What kind of shot is that? Are you anti-social? Speak up when I'm talking like you heard from your pastor. Frisbee at the Garden, ain't my jersey in the rafters. Pull up and it's night. I slash when time's right. Crash out in the limelight and you get sideswiped. Rappers do the most and be friendly as a host. And word to Pat Riley, I don't fraternize with the GOAT. I can do it all in the spot. You can move along when I rock the mic. I gotta put my Ewins on. Step up in the scene, looking mean with my Ewins on. Living out the dream, looking clean with my Ewins on. Yeah, I'm looking clean with my Ewins on. Step up on the scene, looking mean with my Ewins on. When I rock the mic, gotta put my Ewins on. When I rock the mic, gotta put my Ewins on. I can do it all in the spot. You can move along when I rock the mic. I gotta put my Ewins on. Step up in the scene, looking mean with my Ewins on. Living out the dream, looking clean with my Ewins on. Yeah, I'm looking clean with my Ewins on. Step up on the scene, looking mean with my Ewins on. When I rock the mic, gotta put my Ewins on. When I rock the mic, gotta put my Ewins on. Yeah, yeah. Welcome to New York, York, York. Welcome to New York, York. Number 33, man at the garden. Number 33, man at the garden. Center of attention. Number 33, Kingston, Jamaica. Number 33, number 33. New York, New York, yeah. Hey, hey, New York, New York, yeah. New York, New York. You ain't gotta talk, kid. I do this ish often. The heart of New York, dog. From Austin to Boston, I hit the West Coast now. Me and get my stupid on. Anywhere I go, I rock the mic with my Ewings on. Put them on the piss, bet they won't wake up. Can't break us like we from Kingston, Jamaica. All the way to Cambridge, blowing all the doors down. When I hit the spot, I'm coming straight out of Georgetown. Catch him with a block, about to take a shot in over his head. When I get the rock, ops looking pitiful. When it gets critical, bring Chicago to the garden, watch it get physical. If they really got hard, this is where the bond starts. Bag them up, bang on them like my man John Starks, rookie of the year in '86. Think of this, #1 draft pick. Ain't nobody taking this, bro. I can coach you, I'm vocal and postal. What kind of shot is that? Are you anti-social? Speak up when I'm talking like you heard from your pastor. Frisbee at the garden, ain't my jersey in the rafters. Pull up and it's night. I slash when time's right. Crash out in the limelight and you get sideswiped. Rappers do the most and be friendly as a host. And word to Pat Riley, I don't fraternize with the GOAT. I can do it all in the spot. You can move along when I rock the mic. I gotta put my Ewins on. Step up in the scene, looking mean with my Ewins on. Living out the dream, looking clean with my Ewins on. Yeah, I'm looking clean with my Ewins on. Step up on the scene, looking mean with my Ewins on. When I rock the mic, gotta put my Ewins on. When I rock the mic, gotta put my Ewins on. I can do it all in the spot. You can move along when I rock the mic. I gotta put my Ewins on. Step up in the scene, looking mean with my Ewins on. Living out the dream, looking clean with my Ewins on. Yeah, I'm looking clean with my Ewins on. Step up on the scene, looking mean with my Ewins. No BS, just straight bars. It's time to get to it. Let's get busy. Here it come. Pull up on the spot, I'm ducking another op from another block until I give him a couple shots. When I hit the spot, we pulling up, it's something high, showing off the rocks. I'm high chief just from the top, we can get it in though. Looking for your kinfolk, all these men in the bar, I'm wig with the pencil. Trying to smoke something, so at last, my last stash. I'll be smoking out the window like I caught backdraft. No turning back, I'm earning scraps and learning that I've been fired with the pen like an inferno match. Send her up to the sky, thunderclouds hit me. Show you the full gore with all killer instinct. Put him in a figure four, maybe he will listen more. When I kick in the door, everybody hit the floor. All these girls coming to cash.
Hey, what's going on? It's Dallas Cash, Humble Roses podcast, and looks like it's just me today. Yeah. So we might this live might be a little short just because it doesn't feel right with the full crew here. But like I said, I got work to do. You know what I'm saying? I never slow down. Yo, shout out to Sports for You, T Ross. Was good. I see you in the comments section. Yo, let me cut this music off real quick. So Wrestlemania happened, night 1 and night 2. And like I said, I got the order of the matches here with me, so we're gonna go down match by match. And like I said, if there are fans in the comments that want to talk about, whatever, like I said, this is our show. We do what we want and we say what we want. Part of that, though, is honestly thinking that, I'm not going to lie, night 1 didn't feel like WrestleMania. It just didn't. and we'll go into that a little bit later. We'll touch a little bit on, not too much. Um, we'll touch a little bit on what happened on Raw, not too much though. Well, I want the focus to be on WrestleMania, and then we'll go from there. So, sorry, you guys, not trying to rush anything, but let me take a look at the chat. I just got, oof. Okay, Greg, I see you. Greg, what's going on? Big Cena, yeah, we're gonna get to that in a minute. King Hezekiah, hey, what's going on with you? Arthas Alliance, WrestleMania was just a C minus for me. That's fair. I don't have any issues with that. I don't have any issues if someone thinks it's an A plus. My bad, used the wrong account. Lena, how you doing? Good to see you. So I'm gonna just keep it real. Like night one felt like Super Showdown in Vegas. It just did. I don't know why, but I didn't get that casual, high profile WrestleMania feel from night one. Not to crap on it, but when you look at the even the crowd wasn't into night one as much as it should be. So, you know what I'm saying? We're going to kick it off and talk a little bit about what happened, what went down, the highs and lows, the dry spots, the big spots. Like there was a lot. There was a lot. So, and we'll get to this match later. I got some gripes. I got some gripes. I got some talk about that. Like we'll get to that. So the first match that kicked off WrestleMania night one was Jey Uso versus Gunther, which I thought was a great decision because I don't mind when WrestleMania opens with championship matches. I've never minded that. It's WrestleMania. I'm just here to sit back, shut up, and enjoy the ride. So Jey Uso versus Gunther, it happens. And throughout the match, I felt that there were layers to the match. I felt like it was a passable match. I'm not there to judge. I've never taken a bump in the ring or wrestled a match, which I would love to do training for. And I had a invitation to go train. I asked, I got the invitation to go train, but I wanted to ask first to make sure it was okay because I was sent by Ruthless Lala to Mega Championship Wrestling, and they offered to train me. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic. They offered to train me. So salute to them. I definitely want to do work with them. So I will definitely be looking into that later down the line. I do want to do that though. It just seems like something I would enjoy doing. It'll be painful, but I'll enjoy it. So Jey Uso versus Gunther. I didn't mind how the match went, but I didn't feel that same intensity from Gunther that I felt in his previous matches in early installments of what happened in his feud with Jey Uso. Like basically like the trilogy of matches that they had up until the fourth one. And my thing was watching that, I'm like, okay, this match is doing what it's supposed to do. But I didn't feel like at any point that Jey Uso, I didn't get that feeling of danger from Jey Uso being in danger. Just because this was his revenge and this was him basically fighting back, I didn't feel like Jey Uso was ever out of the chance of winning the title at any point. Having said that, he put on a show, and Gunther definitely did too. My thing was the ending slightly bothered me to a degree, and I'll tell you why. Because obviously we know Gunther's weakness is being choked out. And he was choked out by Ilya Dragunov, I think the last time that they faced. And this was when they believe it was a title on the line. Dragunov had choked him out the same exact way. The thing was that Jay didn't have the choke locked in for that long. And I mean, it was like, it felt like it was like about maybe 12 seconds before Gunther tapped out. What I would have liked is if he would have made Gunther pass out from the choke, because that would have been a little bit more poetic, because it just looks like but I get it. You know, I'm happy that Jay won. That was one of my predictions that I was right on. And because of that, I thought Jay did an exceptional job. His spears looked a little bit more crisp. He just looked comfortable. And I think that was to shut the haters up. He definitely stole some of Gunther's moves. So I was a pretty big fan of that. You know, I'm a big fan of move thieves. And there's that. So Jey Uso wins. Not an issue with that. And we're not going to talk about like any of the side segments or nothing like that. We ain't going to get into that. There is one thing I do want to get into. We'll get to it later. So the next match that I remember was New Day versus the War Raiders. And with this match, right, there were some gripes that I had about this match. And it wasn't the issue. Excuse me, I just got off work. Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. It's not the issue with the New Day. It wasn't the issue with the War Raiders. What it was it felt flat to me, because the New Day has busted their ass, War Raiders have busted their ass, but I thought we were going to get maybe an appearance from Big E, which would have definitely helped like add some fuel to the fire, because Big E's going to eventually have to get his get back on the New Day. Maybe he cost them a championship match later down the line. We'll see. The match was good for what it was. The crowd wasn't really into it because I think they were completely wiped out from Jey Uso and Gunther. And with that, though, the New Day put on a pretty good clinic with the War Raiders. You could tell that these two teams have chemistry. The other thing that felt flat about it was I felt like there should have been like something big or monumental to capitalize on the New Day winning the way that they did. But I don't have an issue with it. I even picked a New Day to win. And remember, Xavier Woods follows me on Twitter, so I'm not criticizing anything that he did. I'm saying the reason why the match felt flat to me was the lack of energy from the audience. This is at one point a team that you guys booed out of the building, and now they're not even getting booed as much as they should at WrestleMania. I mean, to be completely honest, I think Bianca Belair got booed more at WrestleMania than the New Day did. But the New Day put on a clinic with the War Raiders. War Raiders, I love Ivar. Me and Ivar have the same birthday. Eric is intense as always. And what I like about Eric is he really gives off that kamikaze feel of a Viking, and Ivar, they always have the fight or flight reaction. And I thought that they always put on great matches. I mean, you could take a look at some of the matches they did in the black and gold era of NXT. And even with their matches with Judgment Day, War Raiders are always putting out tag team bangers, but the New Day are as well too. But I just feel like if this match would have happened on night 2, I think it would have gotten the love that it deserved. And then having to follow Jey Uso and Gunther after the crowd was like completely wiped out, it's like a tough act to follow. But they did, pick it back up towards the end. New Day ended up taking the tag team titles away from the War Raiders. Where this moves forward with the New Day, I don't know, but I'm really excited and happy that they, got their championships back. And because of that, I'm really feeling the idea that Big E is eventually going to cost them something down the line. Basically, revisit the history. I don't know. I still in the back of my mind feel like Big E is medically cleared, but or he will be this year. But we're taking it one day at a time, and I'm not in a hurry to rush Big E back. I want him to be 200% when he comes back, if he possibly can. So the following match, I believe, I gotta look. I believe it was Jade and Naomi. Yeah. So Jade Cargill versus Naomi. Yeah, it was that good. It was probably one of the more underrated matches on the card, but it was the biggest story coming out of the women's division, minus the triple threat, because there wasn't any damn story with the women's tag team title. There was nothing there. So with that, Naomi comes out and she has a heavy metal theme. Like she's been death rebelled. But I mean, I get it. Like this is a new version of Naomi. So I thought, okay, new version. You know, we're gonna see some eventual and we're seeing the character development for Naomi, but at the same time, there are a lot of elements to what she's doing, and she's doing it so poetically. The new theme, it doesn't bother me. She made it work. It sort of fits her, and I like that for what it is. It's a new look, new direction, but I want to see where this goes. So Jay comes out, and Jay looks like a total superstar. Even with the broadcaster, and I believe that guy is a local one in Vegas, a famous one. She comes out, looks like a superstar, and these women start banging in the ring. I'm talking about putting on a clinic, and even from the avalanche top rope bulldog that Naomi did, from the power bomb that Jade did right before she hit Jaded, like these moves looked painful and they looked brutal. And because of that, I was actually happy the way this. I mean, I preferably would have wanted Naomi to win because I feel like Naomi deserves it a little bit more. But I don't feel like this feud is over because Naomi is going to have to eventually get her get back on Jade Cargill. It was wonderful. That's the best thing I could say. Hold on. Naomi came with caution, but Jade came with fire. Destiny struck back, and the storm stood tall. I love Lena. I love Lena. I love the way that she puts words together. Just a magnum opus of words, a marmalade of just the English language, and it's so poetically done and woven into an authentic texture that dominates the transcript and the transcript of what it means to be poetic, what it means to be an author, what it means to be a writer. So yeah, she's a stampede herself. Naomi didn't get the win, but I will say, like, yeah, she ain't get the win, nah, but it hurt to see that. Um, but I'm gonna say, like, black women, way to go. Love it. Absolutely love it. Having said that, I think that there's more down the line for those two. And I want to see where it leads to. Uh the next match I believe was Jacob, was it Jacob Fatu and LA Knight for the United States Championship? Uh Hezekiah, that power bomb was wild as hell. You ain't lying. So that match was next. Jacob Fatu and LA Knight. I was on the road to get some pizza. So I was watching it and listening as I was going to get food. I will say this is another sleeper match. Honestly, this is probably the second or third best match of night one. It might be it might be second, it might be third, but Jade and Naomi's up there. Man, I'm telling you. Oh my gosh. LA Knight and Jacob Fatu went at it like you saw a lot of LA Knight's intensity. And because Jacob brought it right out of him, even like the moonsault into the BFT and just Jacob being Jacob and LA Knight being LA Knight, like this match made the US title mean something, because a lot of these matches with the US title, it feels like this championship legitimately means something. With the Intercontinental Championship, you can literally tell people really are competing for that. And I think that was like a big deal for me, because I wanted to see a slugfest. And that is what we 5 comments already. That's what we got. Fatu unleashed under Vegas lights. He claimed the US crown with primal power. Danger has a new face. Oh man. I love Lena. What up? Hey, what up, Joey Knox? Backlash is about to be epic. Yes, it is. The theme is great for Naomi. It was match of the night on the women's side. Yeah, I think, was that the only women's match? No. Oh God, we'll get into that later. Let me keep the chat open so I can just watch as I go along. So Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, it wasn't a lot of hickory dickory trickery going on. I thought Solo was maybe going to come out and cost LA Knight the championship. I'm sorry, Jacob Fatu the championship, but it wasn't that. And that's what we just wanted to see them wrestle. I just wanted a straight up championship match, no BS. And Jacob, man, I tell you, him and LA Knight have flat out great chemistry, and I want to see a rematch. So they can make that shit happen on SmackDown. Do that, because that I give that match like at least a solid A-. Next match was El Grande Americano versus Rey Mysterio, but Rey Mysterio was actually replaced by another luchador, Rey Fénix. Now, I'm gonna say this. I understand that they had to put a luchador up against Chad Gable, but I guess they didn't want it to be Dragon Lee. And I don't know. I understand it's for story purposes, but I mean, Dragon Lee was right there. I'm not saying that Rey Fénix doesn't deserve it, but that's kind of a slap in the face to guys who work all year round to get a WrestleMania spot, and then this guy comes in and with 2 weeks later, and then within 2 weeks he's on the WrestleMania card. It just I know some of the people in the back felt some kind of way. I want to talk about Rush telling Dragon to go because she'll be last. Here it is. Just yeah, I mean, I feel bad for Dragon Lee, but we'll cross that bridge later. The Phoenix soared for pride, but El Grande Americano played dirty. Victory stolen. Honor left in the dust. Lena at it again. And Lena, I apologize. I may not be able to read all of your comments just because I'm trying to follow protocol, and it's kind of hard to, so don't, if I see your comment and I don't read it, I'm not ignoring you. I don't want you to feel any kind of way. I'll read most of them, but I won't be able to read all of them. But keep typing, people in the chat like that. So with Ray Phoenix and El Grande Americano, I mean, the match was pretty cool. I didn't think much of it as far as it was there to entertain the fans, showcase Ray Phoenix, even Chad with that double rotate. I don't know if it was like a. I almost thought he was going to do a 630 at one point, like or a double rotation. Like I don't know, that moonsault was just it was. Ooh, ooh. But it was nice to see El Grande Americano get a win. But I just would have liked it to be under Chad Gable and not this El Grande Americano moniker, because whatever this story is going on, this is Shorty G-esque for me, and this has like Vince McMahon's name written all over it, and he ain't got nothing to do with the product. So that's where I stand with it. Yeah, I'm sorry, the reverse 450 senton. I'm sorry. I thought he was going to do like a double rotation moonsault, like how Ricochet did. Jack Evans used to do that too, but I have never seen nothing like that. And I just was like, oh, he was waiting to pull, because he didn't pull that out any other time. I'm like, he waited till WrestleMania. And I'm like, that's my guy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely happy for Chad Gable. Ray Phoenix, amazing as always. I just personally thought Dragon Lee should have gotten that spot if that was the case. I guess if Ray didn't want to lose, I mean, they could have shoehorned Dragon Lee into it, but I understand why they shoehorned in Ray Phoenix, especially with the acquisition of AAA. So AAA is now under WWE's banner. Forgive me for the barking dogs in the background. That's just somebody must be here. So there's that. Moving on, I believe the next match was Tiffany and Charlotte. Yeah. Oh man. So here's my thing with Tiffany and Charlotte. This match was a whole mess. And not only was it a whole mess, but I believe Tiffany's like got her teeth chipped at one point. It was violent. It was rough, but it just was the match was a precursor for how their feud was, and it was just all over the place. They have no chemistry at all. You can absolutely tell it is completely and I'm not here to call out botches or nothing like that. We're not here to do that. That's not what we're here to do. But it just was very messy, just like their promo was. It was messy. And that is, it shows when you watch the match back, when you look at it, it shows. And not only does it show, but there just was not a connection. You could tell that they knew that they had to work a long match. This was a high profile match, and neither one of them looked like they wanted to be there in the ring with each other. And that's really heartbreaking, because this was actually a match that I wanted to see personally. And by the time the match started, I couldn't wait for it to be over. And I'm sure they felt the same way, because you can kind of tell that they just do not mesh well. And that's not putting the blame on anybody. They just don't mesh well. That's what happens when you have different performers who have already started a program and they've gotten extremely personal with each other. So personal to the degree that it sabotages the art of what they're trying to put out, and it sabotages the match. Well, not only did it sabotage the match, I mean, it's going to sabotage like whatever they do going forward. That's my whole ordeal, is that I've been under the assumption I've been under the assumption that if you have bad chemistry with somebody, it's going to show in the ring. But there are people who do not like each other that had great chemistry. Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, Triple H and The Rock. Honestly, I mean, like you could tell. I mean, I know they try to. We'll get to The Rock later. You could tell that there's that level of competition, but there's a lot of tension there, and I wouldn't, especially since Rock and Shawn Michaels and Triple H tried to bully The Rock, from apparently what I'm hearing, and I believe that it showed, just because like when you look at it and you think about all that they did and all that they amounted to, there's some problems there. There's a lot of problems there, and we gotta just call it like it is. And with Tiffany and Charlotte, there were so many problems. I'm like, who thought this was a good idea to do this? Who thought that this was supposed to be like the main thing that we look for? And the problem lies in, is it Charlotte Flair that's the problem? Is it Tiffany Stratton that's a problem? Is it the fact that nobody really wanted to see Charlotte Flair back? We were happy to see her return, but we didn't want to see her back in title contention. Tiffy time arrived. The Queen fell, and a new era sparkled in her place. Oh yeah, give a big RIP to Steve Mongo McMichael. I just got the news, not through the chat, but I saw earlier that he was trending. So when I seen rest in peace Mongo, I already knew who that was. Steve Mongo McMichael had played on the 1985 Bears and won himself a Super Bowl championship. He was very instrumental in some of the storylines with the Four Horsemen, mainly in WCW, and even during commentary at WCW. He was just a very good vessel of entertainment. He had he had a very underrated moveset. I'll give him that. He had a very underrated moveset, and he had great feuds. Some of the likes with Goldberg, Jeff Jarrett, and Deborah being involved in that. He really embodied he was one of the first pro athletes to come out of the NFL and really transition into like professional wrestling as a whole. And because of that, Mongo was very instrumental in ushering that era of professional athletes coming into the wrestling business. I'm not saying he was the first, but he was one of those pioneers. And Steve Mongo McMichael, I always found him to be very unique. There was something about him that was very unique. And he didn't really creep into world championship status, but he didn't have to. I think he was cool in his lane, and I thought that Mongo was very essential in what he did, not only on the field, but off the field. But I understand that when he had ALS, that was heartbreaking to see. We didn't really get to see him get the full joy of knowing that he was going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But my thing is, I think he should have went in like a lot earlier. He was the pioneer of what it meant to be able to transition from professional sports to professional wrestling. So Steve Mongo McMichael, rest in peace. Thank you for everything that you have given to the wrestling business. Thank you for what you've done on the football field. I hope you find peace somewhere in that fortress of solitude that would be the afterlife. I hope that you find that peace, and I hope that you are giving your boys up there a hard time. Let's get back into Tiffany and Charlotte. So speaking of a hard time, it's really difficult for both Tiffany and Charlotte, because I'm assuming Tiffany wanted to have that same magic with Charlotte Flair that Charlotte got to have with Asuka, um, Becky, and Sasha Banks, and Rhea Ripley. Like, I'm sure Tiffany wanted to have that kind of a match, that caliber of a match, but it just didn't fizzle out like that. And because of that, there were some issues that we as fans saw happen, and that's neither here nor there. But Tiffany did get the win. Very excited that Tiffany got that. That was one of my picks. I think I was only wrong about 2 matches on this card. No, so I was wrong about Naomi and the triple threat, which is the next match. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. When I tell you that I watched Javon Evans versus Trick Williams versus Obafemi at Stand and Deliver. I thought that was the best triple threat. I thought that was going to be the best triple threat that they could put on. Until I saw this match. And the other one. And the thing was we had Seth Rollins come out. Roman Reigns came out, and then I'm like, oh shit, Punk is gonna he's gonna be the last entrant in the match for the main event of WrestleMania. And the video package that they had of CM Punk when CM Punk had first started, I think they showed some of the stuff back to the indies a little bit. And I'm listening to it and I'm like, oh boy, they're going to play the Fire Burns, aren't they? And next thing you know, I hear the Fire Burns and I'm like, this Fire Burns. And I'm like, if he comes out to that shit, I might literally cry. But I heard it in the video package and I just like the nostalgia just hit me. It just made me realize how far CM Punk has come. Not only that, it made me realize that throughout all the shit that CM Punk dealt with, WWE did right by him. And that is something that I can say honestly, that video package did right by CM Punk. They made him look like a big deal. And I mean a big deal. And then it happened. I hear a guitar strumming and I see these ebony hands and I'm like, I know that ain't who I think it is. I know that ain't who I think it is. And I'm like, if that's Living Color, after I just asked Corey Glover, was he going to perform at WrestleMania for CM Punk? Next thing I know, who I see? Corey Glover. Boy, I like flipped out. I flipped out. Y'all saw me here. I actually had the same outfit, well, just the hoodie and the hat. I was flipping out. Like, it's my guy. We had him on this show. And I asked him, which I'm pretty sure was locked in before I asked him. I'm like, are we going to see you perform at WrestleMania one more time with CM Punk? And I forgot what Corey's answer was because I was just like, I was on another galaxy just knowing that I was talking to a two-time Grammy-winning recording artist like Corey Glover. And what happened? They do Cult of Personality. He walks out. Oh man. Like I could have cried, man. I could have cried. If the money is, yeah, he said I believe he did, yeah, if the money's right. Oh, the money was right. Oh, was the money right? Man, they go out there, and that was one of the greatest triple threats I've ever seen. And I'm not going to put it up there. I'll put it up there from an aspect of like Joe versus Daniels and Styles at Unbreakable, TNA Unbreakable. But I'm telling you, as far as triple threat matches, it's up there. I love triple threat matches. I feel like that leaves so many elements. I don't like fatal four ways that much, but I do like triple threats because it's always that extra element that helps elevate the match into something a little bit better. With Seth and Punk and their vitriol towards each other, and everybody in that match had a vendetta with the other person, and it all made sense, and it all signs pointed to Paul Heyman. The pace, the match, the intensity, the false finishes. I was on and I remember telling Kev, I got goosebumps, dude. I'm on the edge of my seat because I don't care who wins the match. I personally wanted Punk, but I'm like, wouldn't have cared if Roman won. It would have made whoever won would have made sense. All three were great options, and they all would have made sense. But let me tell you what moment got me. Paul Heyman brings a chair in, and I'm like, because I mean, I knew, I'm like, he's going to betray Roman, and he might betray Punk too. He betrays Punk, and I go, dog, if he betrays Roman, it's over. Dog, he betrayed Roman. Man, I lost my mind. I lost it, and I'm like, because I'm like, you know it's coming, but the fact that it's still happening just shocks you. And mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. My jaw was on the floor. Dude, did you see my voice message when it happened? No, because I was live streaming and I was not checking my phone. And I saw that you sent me a voice message and I didn't get to it because I'm like, all right, I'll check it in a minute. Because I was laying down when I finally and that next thing I know, I'm laying down and I'm out. I just fell right asleep. I was just out. WrestleMania 41 wiped me out after that main event. I wanted to go because you're streaming all day and cleaning the house. I lost my shit. I lost it. And that was like the key point for me, was knowing that we're going to get something so beautiful out of this. But I also said, this is what made it feel like a WrestleMania main event. This felt like WrestleMania. This match felt like WrestleMania. Yeah, I'll play it. I got you, Hezekiah. Overall though, like I said, some ups, some downs, not to crap on the wrestlers. That's not what I'm here to do, and you guys know I don't do that. But from a standpoint, it just, night one felt like an appetizer to the main course. So we lean into night two, and the ladies ran the show night two. I was just there to watch. And I remember saying, like, night two feels like WrestleMania. And the event had not even started yet. It felt like WrestleMania because, like, there were Sorry, camera follows me sometimes if I put my hand up. Hold on. Roman can't. Well, he's actually beaten Rollins, I believe, like 4 times on TV. I think 2 SmackDowns and 2 Raws. 2 Raw matches they had and 2 SmackDown matches they had. I know one of them was 2017 or 2018. I know it was one of them. Anyway, so I'll give night 1 like a maybe a C plus, B minus. You know, but night 2, let's get into that. So night 2, we start off with I mean, ooh, Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley. That opened up night 2. And I said, these women are about to steal the damn show. They went out there and stole the damn show. And I said, before we get into that match, after the match was over, I said, Cody and Cena ain't going to be able to follow that. Drew and Damian Priest will possibly be able to follow that, but it's going to be tough. AJ and Logan are not follow. I was thinking about the rest of the card, like, yeah, nah, like, that was match of the night. Because look who you had in that match. You had Io Sky, you had Bianca fucking Belair, and Rhea Bloody Ripley. This is the cream of the crop. These 3, the cream of the crop of the women's division. In their prime, all 3 of them. But I wasn't happy with the result. But that's okay, because wrestling is subjective. And it's all opinionated. So I wanted Bianca to win just because I wanted her to continue her undefeated streak. And I was kind of mad that Io pinned her instead of Rhea. But that triple threat was the match of the night. And I'm like, well, this night already got started and they're already off to a good start. I'm like, this already blew night 1 out of the water. Minus the main event. So the ladies picked up where the men left off. So night 1, in my opinion, was saved by the triple threat because it didn't feel like WrestleMania. That's just my opinion. Io Sky is so over that she managed to get someone like Bianca Belair booed. Rhea Ripley, super over. I don't know what Bianca's getting booed for. I literally do not know what exactly it is. But I'll tell you what I think it is. I think it's because the audience still believes that Bianca had something to do with Jade Cargill's attack, and they're not letting her off the hook. I felt like they wanted her to be the one who attacked Jade Cargill, because I guarantee if she was the one who attacked Jade, she would have gotten cheered at first, but then the boos would have been very, very understanding just because of what she did. And let me tell you, that all roses outfit, the first thing I was thinking of was, I know Bianca Belair doesn't watch the Humble Roses podcast, but that if I could pick a wrestler's attire for the logo of this show, it would have been that right there. It would have been that right there. Matter of fact, somebody share this on Twitter, quote, retweet this, and tag Bianca and tell her I'm talking about her right now. We're going to get to that. And because now you got, like I said, Bianca Belair, in my opinion, is the GOAT. It's my opinion. He said, "You never know, bro. She might be watching. She don't know who I am. I ain't nobody. But I would be surprised if she did. But again, I ain't nobody. However, her outfit was incredible. Bianca's outfit was incredible. Everything about her outfit screamed megastar. Everything about her outfit screamed incredible, because I can tell she made it herself, and she made that robe out of roses. Oh my God. I would pay top dollar for Bianca Belair to make me ring gear, because that if she retires from professional wrestling, that needs to be her side hustle, or the company needs to hire her to do the gear for the women, because that is art. That is arts and crafts. And I want to see Bianca Belair make wrestling gear for, and let me just put this out there. I personally want to see Bianca Belair make wrestling gear for a couple women. I would like to see her design something for Lola Vice. I would like to see her design something for Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, and Tyra May Steele from LFG. Tyra, I think the embodiment of what Tyra represents over there would really go well and mesh well if Bianca made a gear just for her. It would give her that Olympian look. And I think because her and Bianca are like, even though Bianca's never won a gold medal in the Olympics, I see a lot of Bianca Belair and Tyra May Steele. And that's a great thing, because I'm very supportive of both. And with Tyra, like, I want to see Tyra on NXT. I think the darkest part about Tyra is the fact that she's been through so much, but she still smiles, right? So somebody who's been through so much has the brightest smile. When you're on the opposite end of that smile, it's terrifying, because you don't know what anger and what unholy ideas that person has that they're waiting to unleash on you just because you pissed them off. And I feel like with Bianca Belair and Tyra May Steele, both of these women have some similarities, and I just want to see Tyra get to the main roster, because that's a dream match of mine. I want to see Tyra May Steele versus Bianca Belair. Hell, give me a fatal four-way with Tyra May Steele, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Lash Legend. Excellence. That is black woman magic to the nth degree. And because of that, with Bianca, with Tyra, with Lash Legend, Jade Cargill, they would set the building on fire. The level of power, the level of raw strength, the level of athleticism is unprecedented with these four ladies. So if I were to build like a female evolution stable, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, Lash Legend, Tyra May Steele. And just for giggles, add Naomi to that. That's how I feel. Bianca Belair is the embodiment of what the WWE's women's division should be. And in my eyes, she can do no wrong, because she's clean. She's already married. You aren't going to see her getting into any kind of trouble. She's not going to tarnish the image of herself nor the company. And I just feel like she'll be a great she's a great leader, and she's very welcoming. I still want to meet her one day. I want to meet all four of them. And another thing, you know who doesn't get a lot of credit? Jakara Jackson. Jakara Jackson it has really, I appreciate that. Thanks for doing that. Jakara Jackson, she's really up there, man. I'm telling you, there's something special about that young lady, and I'd like to see WWE pull out the full potential of Jakara Jackson, because I know that she's very, very talented. And I don't want her to be left in the dust because of Lash Legend. So Jakara Jackson absolutely smokes the competition. She absolutely smokes the competition. We got to talk about another black woman who I consistently go hard for as far as like promoting, Meechin. Meechin still. I was just on her stream last night. Just an overall wholesome human being. And all of these ladies are. You know, when you talk about the evolution of black women in the wrestling business, look no further than who we have. Not just in WWE, all over, everywhere. These women are evolving and changing the game every single night. From the Jada Parkers, the Queen Aminadas, the Athenas, the Mercedes Monets. Hell, I even give flowers to Shalance Royal. You know what I'm saying? Like it's there's, and then you got obviously the Biancas, the Naomis, the Jades, the Mount Rushmores of the Lash Legends, um, Athena and Willow Nightingale. Like these women are legitimately monsters at their craft. Beautiful nightmares that just they'll smile in your face and kill you in the ring. But like I said, back to Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair in Rhea Ripley, I thought it should have just been then too. But with adding Io Sky, it made the match way better. You know, I personally wanted Io and Lyra Valkyria to go after, you know what I'm saying, go at it for the Intercontinental Championship. That way the Intercontinental Championship would have got a little bit of love. Hell, the women's United States Championship wasn't even defended on WrestleMania. So there's that. However, though, Rhea Ripley not being pinned means that we're going to see Rhea and Io later down the line, because eventually they got to settle that score. As far as Bianca Belair goes, you know, my absolute favorite. I want to see Bianca win the championship, and I want Naomi to win Money in the Bank so Naomi could cash in. But before she cashes in, Jay Cargill comes and interrupts, and then we can possibly get a triple threat between the big three at SummerSlam. That's a high marquee match, especially since SummerSlam is going to be 2 nights now. There's a high profile marquee match. Bianca Belair is the essence of what black women should be in professional wrestling. Naomi, the pioneer. Jazz, the pioneer. Jacqueline, the pioneer. Sweet Georgia Brown, the pioneer. Sapphire, the pioneer. Naomi has been the leading cause of this era of black women in professional wrestling. And then you got your Sasha Banks / Mercedes Monets, you got your Athenas / Ember Moons, your Queen Aminadas, your Willow Nightingales, your Lash Legends, your Jada Parkers, your Jakara Jacksons. All these women, and now look at we got Tyra May Steele from LFG, an Olympic gold medalist, a female Olympic gold medalist. It's never been done before. Barriers are being broken because black women in the wrestling industry is a game-changing culture. And it's about time that we start respecting it and we start realizing it. That's all I got to say. That match was a 5-star match, and I don't care what nobody says. I thought that I don't agree with the decision, but I don't care. It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is they stole the show in the opening match. It is one of the greatest opening matches in WrestleMania history. And if not the greatest opening match in the last 11 years of WrestleMania. I think the only thing that beats this is Daniel Bryan and Triple H. And I don't think it beats it by much. I don't think it beats it by much at all. Anyway, so right after that match, the next match was the Sin City Street Fight between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. And I got to say, I loved both of their entrances, but Damian Priest with Kerry King from Slayer, excellent. And the way Damian was presented in his entrance made him look like a big freaking deal because he is. Damian's actually one of my favorites, and I love Drew too. So I was not biased at all. I did not care who won this match. I just wanted to see a great match. And that's what we got. It was great, but it was also very safe because, stuff can consistently go wrong with a match like this. But they took care of each other. And McIntyre's intensity and Damian Priest's unwillingness to lose is a match made in heaven. Damian's got the same intensity. Damian can be stiff. Damian has a lot of power, and he showed it. He showed the key points of why he is where he is right now, why he's one of the top guys in the business. Damian Priest is one of the top guys in the business, and I feel like eventually we're going to see Damian and Drew back in the World Heavyweight Championship picture. I don't have a lot to say about this because Drew McIntyre is just awesome at what he does. He can't do any wrong. He honestly has had some of his best work in the last 2 to 3 years, and he's killing it. Damian Priest killing it. I enjoyed this match. I think the right person won. I picked Drew to win, and Drew McIntyre is your winner from the Sin City Street Fight. Now, the next match, I was extremely happy for this. And the next match was the Intercontinental Championship between Braun Breaker, Penta, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio from the Judgment Day. And the only thing that I remember saying, hold on, Sin City witness jurors, fury, no rules, no mercy, just redemption in every swing. I said, man, I want Dirty Dom to win this, but I don't know if he will. I said if Dirty Dom wins, he has to pin Finn Balor. He has to. And he did. When the entrances happened, I ain't gonna lie, Dom struggling to take off the mask was hilarious. Braun Breaker's entrance was pretty cool. It wasn't really a lot going on. He just knows he doesn't need the smoke and mirrors to present himself. He just does what he needs to do. Penta, fire entrance, literally. And Finn Balor too. Finn had a look of disdain on his face because he wanted to get rid of Dom. This match was so good because it highlighted everybody's strengths in this match. And I believe Penta was, I thought the crowd was going to be more over for Penta. To my surprise, hearing the Dirty Dom chants, the way that I heard them and the way that they popped for anything that Dominic Mysterio did told me, oh, this is a different ball game. No, this is different. But I am so proud of Dominic Mysterio because I literally shed a tear because 3 years on the rot, 3 years, in the last 3 years, he was the most hated person, the most booed person, most disrespected wrestler on the roster, consistently losing matches to top stars. And then to see him finally get a W in convincing fashion with I still think that Dom winning was probably a louder pop than when Cena won. There's that. I'm not tripping when I say that. That's the thing with wrestling, is that you never know what kind of crowd you're going to get, and you don't know who they're feeling, but they were feeling Dirty Dom. And I think when he realized that he knew that they were feeling him, oh, he turned up. The pressure there was no pressure at that point because he was literally, not to steal Jacob Fatu's tagline, all gas, no brakes. Even when, he was trying to be sneaky, the crowd loved it. And we saw so much of Eddie in Dirty Dom and him hitting that frog splash on Finn and pinning Finn. Oh, that was poetic. And that's what needed to happen to advance the story that goes on between Dom and Balor. Braun Breaker, I think now with what happened on Monday Night Raw, we're going to see him in contention for the World Heavyweight Championship later down the line. But Jey Uso, watch your back, keep your head on a swivel, because it can and it will get ugly. Next match. Oh, hold on. Dominic emerged into the spotlight, proving that true legacy is crafted not from the whispers of doubt, but from the roar of resilience. Man, somebody get Lena a damn Oscar. I love this woman. Absolutely love this woman. I love Lena. She's awesome. Next match we had was, hold on if I'm going to get it right. Randy Orton had a mystery opponent. And my picks were either Rusev or Aleister Black, which I think Aleister will probably be on SmackDown. But with Aleister Black, I'm like, that probably makes no sense. Whoever it is, Orton's either going to take a loss, and it has to be somebody him worth losing to, or he's going to beat him. The last person that I expected, I didn't even want to say his name because I didn't think he would appear. Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry showed up at WrestleMania, and not only did he show up, the pop was enormous. I'd put it up there with Dominic's pop. I'd say it probably was louder. I don't know. They probably were neck and neck, but there were a lot of good pops for Mania 41. Overall, and I understand some people have some gripes about this. Joe Hendry comes out there, people are doing his entrance with him. TNA. Man, I love TNA, man. They just don't miss. They don't miss. Their marketing team is on point. They do such great work, and I don't feel like TNA gets its proper love. But this Friday, that all is going to change. That's all I'm going to say. I do have a show coming for TNA. That's all I'm going to say. With that, though, Joe Hendry gets in there. He gets a little bit of offense in. Got a little cocky. And ate a RKO. Joe Hendry loses to a RKO 1, 2, 3. Orton gives him the rub and then RKOs him again. I was like, dog, like, and some people are like, oh, well, he's getting buried. He's not getting buried. This is, name me one other time a TNA world champion was featured on WrestleMania in a one-on-one match against a legend like Randy Orton. Well, I'm listening. Come on, give it to me. Anybody got it? Come on. Anybody? Thought so. The fact of the matter is, Randy Orton and Joe Hendry was what it needed to be. Short, showcase, to the point. That's it. Then we got AJ Styles against Logan Paul. This is what I will say. I missed this match because I was cleaning and I was getting ready for the main event, which I believe right after this is when the incident happened. So, check this out. I had picked initially. I said I wanted AJ Styles to win. But I was like, you know what? I'll go with Logan Paul. I'll go with Logan Paul. I just want to see like I don't know, one of my favorites, like I don't know, like Bianca Belair, just like KOD Logan Paul through like a pile of bricks or something or thumbtacks, and just pin him 1, 2, 3, squash match him. That's what I want to see. And, tag the EST and tell her go take care of Logan Paul for me because I don't want to like that match was okay when I went back and finally like got to catch up on it. But I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it. I feel like for someone like AJ Styles caliber, he should have faced somebody that would make would match his excitement and intensity. And I just don't feel like it should have been Logan Paul. I would have been cool with AJ and Karrion Kross at WrestleMania because Karrion, that's his hometown. He deserves it. Speaking of which, we'll get to him later. But overall, I wasn't feeling it. I mean, it is what it is, but I feel like AJ could have been used for something a little bit better. So then we had the women's tag team match, and that was Liv and Raquel versus Lyra Valkyria. And man, like Bailey should not have been left off WrestleMania. That's just how I feel. And then I'm like, it's probably gonna. And I said to someone, I'm like, it's probably gonna be Becky who shows up. There, lo and behold, Becky Lynch shows up. Now, I wasn't mad about Becky showing up. Hell, I wasn't even mad about Becky and Lyra winning the championships and making Lyra a double champion. However, for them to drop the titles the following night, if you wanted to fast track this Becky Lynch heel turn, just have them beat them at WrestleMania. Have Lyra accidentally hit Becky Lynch, which would cause her to be knocked off the apron. What's something to live oblivion's her 1, 2, 3. Becky heel turn. I just was not a fan of it because like what I'm not a fan of winning a title and then giving it back to the same person you beat within 24 hours. I'm not a fan. If you're going to give somebody a championship, give them a legitimate run. Don't just take the title off because then the titles have no value if they could easily just be taken off like that. So I wasn't feeling Logan and AJ. I wasn't feeling the women's tag team match because Liv and Raquel, Liv busted her ass all 2024, all of 2022 and 2023, even though she was injured. She busted her ass to get where she was at. And it just felt like all of that was like, and even with Raquel coming back, like that was huge. I mean, they kind of fumbled it for Bad Blood, but like having her back was huge and it added to the story. Wasn't feeling it. Wasn't feeling it. Wasn't feeling it as much as that lady who was feeling that four-wheeler when it hit the barricade. Listen, I'm pretty sure Triple H pulled Austin in the back. He's like, hey man, no more driving that four-wheeler. Because that lady sold that crap like 2012 Dolph Ziggler. Like there was other people in the front who were hit with the four-wheeler, and there was a guy standing up who was hit, and he didn't fall back. I just felt like she oversold that. She's probably going to try to sue the WWE to get money out of him, but it's just not going to work. So please don't do it. I don't know what she thinks was going to happen. Stone Cold tried to check on her a couple of times, but he was probably like, whatever, like come on, lady. Like, stop doing that. Grow up. You weren't hurt at all. You weren't hit that hard. There was a barricade protecting you for a reason. And WWE cannot be held responsible because if you sit in the front row, you better expect to be part of the show in more ways than one. All right. Let's get to the main event. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. We got a few things. John Cena told us we weren't getting anything, but we did actually get something. So, and that was nothing. He came out black and white. No special colors, no nothing. Just his name and a black background. That's it. Which I thought was poetic because it's like you're stripping everything that the John Cena character represents, and this new version of him that rises from the depths of hell is just scraping the surface with stuff we wish we could have gotten a long time ago. And it sucks because I feel like we should have gotten this a while ago. We really should have got this a while ago. But there's so many things that are so poetic about these main event matches, right? And what happened to Stokely? Hold on. Whoa. Wait a minute. What do you mean? What the hell? Okay, so Stokely Hathaway is with FTR. Okay, Tony. All right, bravo. Okay, I got you. That's what's up. I thought something happened to him. Cody Rhodes and John Cena. How do I say this politely? Cody crybabies, I'm sorry. Tonight wasn't your night, baby. On me. This is probably the slowest John Cena match and the slowest Cody Rhodes match I've ever seen. But I think that ties into the lore where John Cena said he was going to ruin wrestling. And I feel like this was the way to do it, to give you the absolute worst of a match on purpose so that it ruins wrestling. I'm not going to lie. Their match had some heightened drama, but overall, it just was missing something or someone. Yeah, John Cena got 17. And I'm happy. But when I thought about it, I was like, it was the way that Cody lost. So you mean to tell me that Cody Rhodes can beat Roman Reigns with the help of legends and future legends or whatever? But when he loses at WrestleMania, he loses to an auto tune. He loses because of interference from an auto tune rapper. It's Travis Scott, man. Bro, that's like Roman Reigns not being able to beat Brock Lesnar and Brock Lesnar losing because the Weeknd showed up. What the hell was that, man? And then that John Cena lays out Cody with one title belt shot, but where the hell was The Rock? Where was Dwayne The Rock Terramana Johnson? Hey, Dwayne The Rock Terramana Johnson. Where the hell were you? Hawaii? Maui? Dubai? Fiji? Maldives? Because you sure weren't in Las Vegas, Nevada, like you should have been. And this is my gripe with The Rock, because you can clip this right now. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to start screen recording. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to have a conversation about Dwayne The Rock Terramana Johnson. Ever since The Rock was on the board of directors, he has done nothing but sabotage and get in the way of what this company was trying to do and is trying to do, which is put on the best product that the company could possibly put on. When Dwayne The Rock Terramana Johnson, or Terror Mana instead of Terror Mana Johnson, is on WWE programming, it's more than likely to promote himself. Because based on what he said on the Pat McAfee show, you just crapped on all that money into broadcasting and production that WWE was spending trying to put up a potential Hollywood build for Cody Rhodes and John Cena. You crapped on Triple H's creative. You crapped on the product. You didn't want to be around for it. And you basically said you have no idea what you're doing. You didn't want to be there. Oh, The Rock knows what he's doing. He's keeping the spotlight on himself. But once The Rock got that Scorsese film, wrestling took a back burner. The Rock should not be on the WWE board of directors. The Rock has his own personal writer with Brian Gewirtz. It's not a problem, but they're not working towards making actual stories that people can get into and benefit. The Rock is just using WWE to keep himself relevant so he can potentially keep his name in the spotlight to access those Hollywood roles that he really wants. He doesn't want professional wrestling. If he did, he would have been involved in the build. This is just a stepping stone, a halfway house to him, a pit stop, a gas station, whatever. Dwayne The Rock Terror Mana Johnson does not care about professional wrestling. If it does not involve his family, if it does not involve him, he does not care. And it's really sad that it took this long for all of us to find this out, even though there are clearly people that said this is how The Rock is, and they saw through him a long time ago. But now the mask is off. And I'm going to say something very controversial. I personally think that the reason The Rock came back to WWE was to take heat off of him for that Oprah situation with Hawaii. I personally think he was trying to do damage control and get people to love and appreciate who he was, and still trying to live off that nostalgia for I'm The Rock. The Rock died a long time ago. You're just Dwayne Johnson. You're not The Rock. If you were The Rock, you'd be the most electrifying man in sports and entertainment. Yeah, you had some great segments with Cody because you were involved and the people got to see you. But then you're going and saying that you didn't want to be involved. And then why were you showing up at Elimination Chamber to boost ticket sales? If ticket sales were so bad, leave that on Triple H and them to figure it out. You said you wanted Cody's soul, but it looks like Hollywood has yours. Hollywood has The Rock's soul, bar none. And you want to know why? Is because every time The Rock comes back, he's got something he has to promote. He's got something that he has to plug in. He's just using WWE as a promotional tool, a beacon for what he really wants. A spot back in Hollywood. Because Black Adam failed and bombed miserably, he came back to WWE. So he was going to keep himself in the spotlight until he finally got what he wanted. So now I'm going to just flat out say this. I don't want to see Rock and Roman anymore because it's going to be The Rock going over. Because now that he's on the board of directors, he gets a say-so in the creative. And I'm somebody who always defended The Rock. I can't defend this. You're making excuses for things that you could have fixed had you just stayed away in the first place. Or you could have fixed these problems had you just stayed involved in the creative. But The Rock does not trust Triple H's direction. Because if he did, we wouldn't be sitting here discussing this. Dwayne The Rock Terramana Johnson does not care about professional wrestling. All he cares about is getting himself promoted. Look at this Fast and the Furious contract. He has it stated in his contract that he does not want to lose a single fight or made to look weak. That is the stupidest shit I've ever heard. It's a movie. TKO is going to be the downfall of WWE. And Ari Emanuel is stepping on Triple H's toes by calling in The Rock to bring him in. You've already price hiked your prices. And now, like, buying a seat for WrestleMania is like almost paying for a new car. Like, I heard some fans say they spent $30,000 on WrestleMania. $30,000. Do you know what I can do with $30,000? Do you know what I could buy with $30,000? If The Rock would have showed up a little bit more, and I'm talking about explaining why. And that's another thing with the story. It wasn't explained why you wanted Cody's soul. It wasn't explained why you wanted to have John Cena align with you. What was the whole point? I like The Rock. I think he is a monumental figure in professional wrestling, and you can't leave him off the Mount Rushmore. But he is extremely selfish. And not only is he extremely selfish, it has to be about him. How good does he make himself look? I don't get it. Don't come back to professional wrestling unless you're going to be all in. If you're not all in for this, leave. You have a successful Hollywood career. You might make a couple box office duds, but you're still Dwayne Johnson. And people are still going to watch your movies, regardless if they suck or if they don't suck. He hasn't won an Oscar for his performances. We don't care if he does that. We just want to see him succeed. But we want to see the wrestling business to succeed because there's stories that people get invested into that they can relate to. I don't want to see The Rock back in wrestling unless he is going to be a full-time active member of the roster. And I don't mean going over a bunch of talent just because. I just don't get it. After WrestleMania, which I give like a B plus, I give night 2 a A. A minus. A minus. After that, though, John Cena at the press conference was just wild. Everything he said, his responses were, yeah, that's a clickbait question. Next question. Then he said, turn into Raw to see how I ruin wrestling. Karrion Kross cut the promo of his life. And when I tell you that he did that, he really did that. Karrion Kross was very essential to WrestleMania 41 in just small tidbits because his frustration mirrors that of someone who has so many things that he wants to offer, but he does not get the opportunity to prove it. And even when he does prove it, and when he does win people over, like he won me over because I wasn't a fan of his, it's been proven that Killer Kross is one more bad decision away from just taking matters into his own hands. I don't care if he was shooting. I don't care if what he was doing. He said what was on his mind, and I believe him. He said what he felt, and he is 100% right. Because I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of people in the back who have the same mindset that Karrion does. Not the same mindset as far as wrestling, but just like, hey, I got something to offer. Let me prove it. But because people will not listen to what he wants to say, he has to get your attention another way. Kind of like how CM Punk did. But Kross doesn't have a devil on his shoulder telling him what to do. He is the devil on your shoulder. And Kross said what needed to be said. And I wholeheartedly support him. I wholeheartedly believe him. And Killer Kross, if you are listening, if you are watching, if you are doing anything, you won me over in such a fashion that I don't want to see you lose. I am now dedicated to the cause that you're trying to fight for. Killer Kross is for real. What are we supposed to do? Bianca Belair, if this reaches you, I just want to say my daughter looks up to you, both of them. You're amazing. You're absolutely amazing. And I don't want you to think that because you lost at WrestleMania that it does, or that you're getting booed, that it defines who you are. You are the algorithm, and the company cannot get better unless you're on it. And you are everything that you say you are. You are the EST of WWE. There's no denying that. But what you also are a pioneer for the modern era today. You spearhead that type of movement. And because of this, you are greatness personified and molded into a Black woman who has core values that you stand on, and you exercise your right to be great. Some people dare to dream. You dare to be great, and you go out every night and prove it. Bianca Belair, thank you for everything. All right, let me take some. Did I miss anything, ladies and gentlemen? I'm not going to talk about Raw. But I will say that Heyman aligning with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. Ooh. I want to see what that looks like. Because that sounds like a lethal combination. And because of that, who do you think is going to be the next member? Is it going to be Becky Lynch? You think it's going to be like maybe Karrion Kross, Trick Williams, like anybody? Just someone who needs that push. I'd nominate Killer Kross. There's that. I feel like the Killer Kross executing with the mind state of Paul Heyman is a match made in heaven and hell. Becky and Theory. Yeah, Theory definitely needs it. He needs to get away from Waller. Shayna Baszler would be a good addition too. She needs it. So there's that. What else we got? Yeah, my colleagues aren't here today, but that's okay because I don't really hold it against them. You know, I wanted my squad to be here, but it's just me. I got to be here. I'm required to be here for you guys. You guys want to see the show, I got to be here. No matter if I feel 100% or 1%, I got to be here. Hold on, let me text my wife. Any questions from the chat? I'll open up the floor for questions from the chat. What we got? Anything in the chat? Floor is open. You're doing a good job. Appreciate you very much. Thank you, Lena. I try. Sometimes I fail, but I try, you know. Do the best I can. But thank you for that. Well, looks like let me see. Oh yeah, Rock. When he's man, I mean, listen, honestly, The Rock had me thinking every time he said something, I was just like,
why the fuck would you do something like that?
I don't get it. Get this guy away, man. Oh, here comes the questions. Who do you see joining Finn if Liv and Raquel leave, and good job? AJ Styles. I'd be okay with that. Makes sense. What did you think about Gunther attacking Pat? I mean, if that Gunther would have showed up at WrestleMania, Jey Uso would have got put in a coffin. You know what I'm saying? He would have got put in a coffin. And honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of Pat McAfee. I'm not. So it's not like I prefer Joe Tessitore and the team of Joe Tessitore and Michael Cole, or even Corey Graves. That's a great way to great way to write. Great way to write. Say it 3 times fast. Great way to write Pat McAfee off the show for a while. But yo, Michael Cole would look like he was about to pop the trunk and go get the switch. And the look in that man's eye was like, yo, dude, like, I'll show you something. I'll show you something. I would have helped you. I appreciate it. I don't need it. And I'm not going to consistently ask people to help me and come on the show. That's not what I do. While it'd be nice to have company on the show, I don't want to seem like I'm replacing people just because they couldn't make it to the show. Everybody's got prior reasons, and that I don't want to be like, oh, you're not. So since you're not coming, yeah, let me get somebody. Nah, we're not doing that. I don't want to treat people like they're replaceable because nobody's replaceable on this show. I might be. I think I'm the only one who is, but the ladies, they're not. Kev, he's not. I'm not replaced. I'm replaceable because anybody can do this. But that was part of the ordeal for me, was understanding. I just love to talk, my bro, especially. Yeah, I love you too, bro. Love talking wrestling with you too. I feel like sometimes I overdo things, and there have been times where I was not physically well to get on here, and I still got to be here because I know at least 1 or 2 people every week want to sit and watch the show because I got 126 live viewers now, and they sometimes it fluctuates, like we had 700 for the night one, and then we had like 3 or 400 for not night 2, but the last show we were up to like 300, 400. There's somebody who's probably like, yo, I can't wait to watch the Humble Roses podcast. But the funny thing is that I don't know if these people actually, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's people who watch, but I don't know who's watching. That's 127 different people where I don't know who's watching. So I don't I don't know. I don't know who watches the show. I would love to know, like, if all 130 people watching the show could actually tell me they're watching the show, I would be able to keep in touch with those people so that I could get them more involved. So when I see 130 people and like only like 3 or 4 people are commenting, it's like, do I intimidate people? Are people scared to, because everybody's welcome to the show. I don't care who it is. You want to talk wrestling, the comment section's open. So I don't know who watches the show. But hopefully there's some good things on the way. I get worried that when I go live, I get worried that there's some weird algorithm to where it's saying that there's 132 people watching, but there's really not. It's probably like 10, but for some, I don't know. There's some weird algorithm I have. Because not all my stuff gets attention. It's like I'm at the bottom of the algorithm totem pole. AJ and Finn would be a nice pairing. What did you think about Paul Heyman's new group? I thought it was essentially best for business. There goes the moniker. And I thought that it's a nice addition. Paul Heyman is the greatest manager of all time. I don't know if I've said that on the show, but I believe I've said it many times. Paul Heyman is the greatest manager of all time. You cannot say Bobby the Brain Heenan, because Bobby the Brain Heenan was not involved in major storylines like this. There's no manager who has been more involved in wrestling storylines and been part of the writing process like Paul Heyman. He might be a lot of things, but he's a damn genius. Speaking of which, he flamed everybody on the Pat McAfee show. Paul was just unhinged, and an unhinged Paul Heyman is terrifying. Hold on. This is my wife. Hey, babe, how you doing? Hey, can you make me some pizza, please? I love you. I am, because after I eat this pizza, I'm laying down with my wife. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to sleep. We're about to end the show shortly, but I wanted to take one more question. Well, actually, a couple more questions. Send me about 3 more, so we can get up out of here. Anybody got anything? It doesn't have to be wrestling related. Whatever. The oven is preheating. Okay, cool. Anything you wanted to ask me personally, anything you wanted to ask. I tell when I'm here in front of this camera, I'm an open book. So anything that you want to know about me, whether it be about something personal, something pertaining to the show, wrestling related, I'll answer any questions. What's this one? How's the family? Pretty good. For the most part, we just had to clean our house, so we can get. I want the value of this property to go up. Price of the brick going up. But yeah, we were cleaning mostly all of Saturday and Sunday. So trying to clean and catch Wrestlemania at the same time was certainly a choice. Couple more questions and then we'll wrap this up. Ooh, I can't wait for the day that I have like so many. I can't wait for the day that I have like so many comments that I like won't be able to even like see the day ones. Is like I gotta like look for you guys. Who do you have the Browns taking in the draft this year? That's a great question. I don't know because I'm not a Browns fan. Now, if you ask me about the Ravens, I'd say, because I'm a Ravens fan, I'd say we need to amp up our offensive line. We need to beef up our offensive line, and we need to strengthen our defense again. We got burned on a lot of we had a lot of blown coverage plays against the Bills that cost us very dearly. And with that, I think we do need some more protection on the side because with Mark Andrews, it seems so uncertain for what he's doing right now. And the possibility that he may not even make it to the team is what concerns me. This ain't, we're not standing on ceremony here. I want the Ravens to make a deep run, crush all teams, including the Titans, including the Bills, Chiefs. I want to see another Ravens Super Bowl. We haven't had a Super Bowl since 2013. Braun Breaker didn't spear Carlito. He not launched him through time and space. 2 tables shattered. Carlito's soul is in orbit, still in orbit. And that's not a spear. That's an exorcism, not a question, just laughter. Hey, you put it out there and the world must know. So yeah, that is by far the absolute honest to God's truth. And again, I don't, oh boy. I'm just going to say this. If you are, because this is not wrestling related, stay away from women. If you are, to my men, stay away from women who make sexual innuendos and mix race in them. Shannon Sharp, I don't know how to say this without sounding disrespectful, but you need to do better. And Tracy Ellis, you and Tracy Ellis Ross need to just settle down with each other. Because I don't know what this. I don't get it. I don't get it. What are you doing? Second to last question. Do you see Becky joining Seth's new group? Well, she just recently turned heel on Lyra Valkyria and knocked Lyra's feathers loose. So I see it as a possibility. If Seth has already turned heel and joined Paul Heyman, then Becky turned heel. It's a package deal. I mean, she's not the first Paul Heyman girl. I think she would have been if not for Paulie Dangerously's whole thing with Medusa / Alundra Blaze. That was that was some over the top wrestling, over the top story back then. It pushed the envelope a little bit further for women's wrestling, especially since Paul was spearheading that kind of culture into what was going on. All right, final question. Who wants to take it? Final question. And then I'll wrap this up. I'm doing pretty good. Kept it right around 2 hours or under 2 hours. I was trying to aim for an hour and 30, but that's okay with the comments. So, like I said, Friday, we're be on the lookout for an announcement. Just trying to put some work together with TNA. I don't work for them or work with them, just promoting them. We got something cooking up, so stay for that. Final question. Do you think Roman should also include a woman bloodline to his group too? As long as they don't betray him. I mean, but I don't. The whole benefit of the bloodline was to benefit Roman, and Roman doesn't benefit from having a woman's bloodline, especially with the way that he's treated all the members of the bloodline, minus Solo. I mean, he didn't really bully Solo, but I would be open to it if it meant something down the line. I would suggest the Tonga twins and Nia Jax, maybe with Tamina. But overall, though, no. I don't think he should include that. I think he should go out on his own and be a D1 crash out. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Humble Roses podcast. My name is Dallas Cash. I'm part of the coalition that is Culture Clash Network, and we do the best that we can to provide you guys with the entertainment and the podcasting episodes that you guys would love to have. And being able to interact with you guys really is just a testament to the fact that you guys are awesome, and the fact that you spend time with me and you give me time out of your day means way more to me than you'll ever imagine. And that is something that I don't take for granted. Never, and I never will. Remember, when life has got you down, think about what it took to get you there in the first place. And when life does kick you down, remember the people that you brought with you on this journey, and surround yourself with people who believe in you. And if nobody believes in you, then believe in the me that believes in you, because you matter and the world is a better place because you are in it. So if you ever thinking about doing harm to yourself or any of that, you got to understand that you got a bigger purpose in life. You were put on this earth for a reason. Out of billions and billions of souls, You're one of the only unique versions of yourself that's alive, and there will never be another version of you. So while you're here, make an impact and make it last. And search for what you think is in your heart that you must do. And if you're going to do something, be the best at it. Don't try to be, just try to be this version. Be the best at what you want to be. Because love conquers all, and love for what you want to achieve helps you become a better person. This has been the Humble Roses podcast. My name is Dallas Cash. I'll see you guys later. I'm going to try to get some rest. It's been a long day. Hey, I love you. And my roses of the week go to you, the viewer who's watching or listening. You get my roses of the week because you have always been here with me from the beginning. And even if you're just now coming in, you get my roses of the week because you deserve everything. And that's why everything around you will gravitate towards you as long as you use the law of attraction, which is the biggest secret. Everything that you attract, it has to be done in a positive manner, because when you attract negativity, negativity happens and it manifests. Attract some positivity in your life, and life will open its doors for you.